I love Tinkerton. Tinkerton loves to hate. Hey Nick, what's the worst word that's in this video?
Capicola.
Welcome back to Ready Player 2. I'm your player 1, Tyler.
I'm your player 2, I'm Nick.
You're also Mira.
Oh, yeah. Are you two okay?
Sergey.
Roy, long time no see. Sergey.
That's
I
two people
forgot
with
your
the
name.
same line twice in a row.
Yeah. Actually, I don't remember you. How have you been, Captain Mira? What's Obero doing on the floor? And why Sergey with you? What's going on here?
Sergey fought alongside us. He defeated Obero. Actually, it was mostly me.
Yeah,
I was shooting swords straight into the air and just
Honest.
dive bombing him. That asshole.
Honest to God truth.
What happened?
So, Marcia, where's Rahu now?
Is nobody going to answer my question?
no one's talking to you, Roy.
Escaped. Obero tried to dive into Rahu, but it didn't seem like Rahu liked it, so it rejected him and flew away.
Diving into Rahu? What? Sergey, what's going on? I'll explain it in detail, Captain Mira. But let's go to a different room. Please follow me.
Yeah, I don't really like the red lighting in here. I don't
it's-
blame you, Sergey.
It's really bad.
Hey, you're not that bad a guy, are you?
No, I'm pretty cool, actually.
Oh, dude, have you ever fought a bear? You sound like you could fight a bear.
Yes.
Oh, did you win?
No. That's why I look like this now.
That actually checks out. Yeah, it's a really sensitive subject for him. You should stop talking about it.
Where are we, anyway? This room belonged to our leader who passed away not too long ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Z's leader.
Yes. I mean, duh. Someone here needs to hear my leader's final words. This is why I brought you to this place.
I cannot hear them myself.
Someone? Who? Who is it? Please listen. These are my leader's final words. Parker, you'll never... Oh!
Yeah.
You'll never know how proud I am that you've come so far.
Huh?
Hey, Parker! How come he knows your name?
That voice, it's my dad.
What?
It can't be. Z Syndicate's leader is really Parker's father?
Let me continue playing the message. Parker, if you're listening to this message, that means Rahu has returned, and our time is short. I wish that I could have been here to see you, to fight with you in this final, glorious moment. However, if you're hearing this, it also means my time has come, and I am gone from this world. I've given my loyal friend, Sergey, details on your mission. Trust him as you would have trusted me.
You're my dad now?
You do. I'm your dad? You do not have much time left. Give Sergey the watch I gave you to care for so long ago. With the power contained in that watch, you can defeat Rahu. I've failed you as a father in life, and my final wish in death is nothing but a fool's errand. I'm sorry, son.
Damn, my dad's an asshole.
That was his final message.
Are you kidding me? The watch. My dad told me to keep it on at all times, never to take it off. He said it over and over. I promised him so many times, and then he left me. Parker.
Sergey, what's going on here? Like you and Roy, I learned about the outside world when I became a Class S commander.
Though you disappeared right after you found out about it.
Sergey, why did you leave without telling us? Because I met my boss. Boss? You mean Z's boss? When I found out about the outside world, I became curious. I wanted to explore it. And there, I met my boss. I was surprised to discover somebody living in the outside world.
And?
He asked me, why are you here? And I told him that I wanted to know the truth about the outside world. He then asked, is there something you need to protect? And I said, Marcia, my sister, you were the one I wanted to protect.
Sergey.
We spoke for some time, discussing life in our dome and outside. Finally, he asked me, do you want to protect this world from annihilation? To conquer all peoples within our nation?
I was
To denounce the evils of truth and love?
to extend our reach to the stars above.
Annihilation? Yes. I mean, duh. I have to admit, I really didn't understand this question. But I could see in his eyes that he was very serious indeed. I stopped to think and I said yes. And then he said, don't you mean duh? As long as you live in your world,
You
you'll
always
never
said
see
duh.
the truth. The truth lies in darkness. If you discover an inconsistency in your perfectly ordered world, where all things are controlled,
Why are you starting to turn slightly Scottish?
anything that cannot be explained, come see me again, and I may be able to help you. Tell no one that we met. Tell no one that what we have discussed.
So are you breaking like a major rule right now?
Yeah, duh. With that, we parted ways. I thought about what he said, but I couldn't find any inconsistencies.
That's because there are none.
Roy, be quiet and listen. Continue, Sergey. Then, suddenly I found it. It was right in front of me from the start.
The bear.
The bear that mauled me within an inch of my laugh. When I returned home, I saw my sister waiting for me, and it struck me. The inconsistency, that single unexplainable thing. It was Marcia, her special power. Her strange power was a gift, and my late parents, they were suffering.
Sergey.
To all appearances, Marcia was an ordinary girl. Girl.
Gorl.
And yet, the kids teased her. The scientists poked and prodded, and still they learned nothing. Marcia didn't want to go, but the researchers forced her, kicking and screaming.
So that's why Marcia hated the Robo researchers.
I found out what they did to Marcia at the research center. It wasn't science, it was torture. They say that all people are created equal, but my sister's power stole equality from her. If this isn't an inconsistency, then what is? How did I go so long without questioning this? I couldn't wait. Once I'd seen the inconsistency clearly, I had to leave to meet that man again. I told him about Marcia, and he said, in order to understand, you must know everything. And he told me the truth. Something that even most Class S commanders don't know.
More info.
The real truth.
Nothing but the truth?
What do you mean? That smoking causes lung cancer and emphysema in underage smokers.
No!
Oh, and also that you're all aware that centuries ago, Rahu nearly wiped out the human race.
Yeah, I learned that today.
Yeah, we were told that Rahu annihilated all the domed cities people lived in except for ours. You were never told the truth about the outside world. You believe we lived in domes up here. Well, yeah, I mean, where else would we live?
Yeah, to be honest, we've always lived in a dome. That's just normal, right?
Dome life.
We lived free in the outside world. We lived in vast cities in open air. Rahu destroyed all of that.
What? Really?
Originally, humans didn't live in domed cities. We lived outside. The outside world was our home.
Rahu destroyed all of our cities centuries ago. The few who survived, they found an area that had minimal damage, and with the help of Robo technology, they built a dome to create a livable Robo environment for a new Robo community.
Hi, Robo C.
We hadn't Robo heard about that, Robo.
I hate this joke.
We thought people had always lived inside those domes. You are correct, but there is more that you do not know. The Robo Dome builders left Rahu inoperative in the outside world before they sealed themselves in.
Sergey, it sounds like you're saying we deliberately chose to live in a cage like animals.
That's right.
Like bears.
Oh god, I hope not like bears. The dome protects us from bears and all the things like Rahu, but it also keeps us trapped. Caged.
Wait a sec. You said Rahu was an operative. So how did we stop Rahu last time?
Oh, we're saving? Why are we saving?
Oh my. Why do I feel like we're about to fight a Robo battle? Something that has never happened before in the game is happening? Uh-oh.
That's weird.
Rahu possessed no form of its own. It was more like a spirit than a living creature.
They said, you've been going through 10 minutes of dialogue. Here, have a save point.
Yeah, honestly.
What? No form? That doesn't make any sense. We saw it. It looked like a custom Robo.
I'll explain that later. Let me continue though. Originally, Rahu was invisible, formless, but still physical. Still capable of inflicting damage.
Sounds like he was even stronger than he is now.
We couldn't see it, but it was a real creature, and it evolved rapidly.
Evolved?
Not in the traditional sense, but that's correct.
More like a Pokemon.
More like a Pokemon. Rahu has two fundamental behaviors. The first is to acquire new targets, in this case, us. Once it identifies its prey, Rahu destroys it swiftly and utterly. It appropriates any useful abilities its victims possessed, anything it has not encountered before. Then, like a chrysalis, it goes dormant, awakens with new skills and continues its hunt.
Metamorphosis. I guess it really is evolving. Like a Pokemon.
So, what you're saying is that it targets a creature with abilities it doesn't have and steals them.
Then it turns into a pupa, rests for a bit, and changes into an even scarier monster?
Harry, I didn't know that you knew the word pupa.
I know a lot of things. Yeah, that's just about the size of it. That's just a secondary behavior, though. Excuse me. Its primary function is to annihilate everything living.
So, it's invisible, it can learn to do everything we can do, and it wants... And what it wants is to kill... everything?
Right.
So what can we do? I mean, other than just roll over and die? How did they stop it hundreds of years ago, when it was running amok? See, I told you I know a lot of things. I even know what amok means.
Yeah, a muck is a Pokemon.
Custom Robos. You're right. Custom Robos. It was because of Custom Robos that they were able to defeat Rahu. Custom Robos? Yes. Back then, Custom Robos were nothing but children's toys, like robotic action figures.
I think this might be talking about the lore of the previous game, the one that was on the Nintendo 64, maybe. I'm not sure, I never played that one.
Sure, maybe we'll have to go back and play it.
Maybe.
It may sound strange, but even now, there is much we do not know about Custom Robos.
Well, they come in a cube.
It's true. That is about what we know. Rahu's destructive rampage was at its peak, and we were all but extinct. Then, suddenly, Rahu targeted a young child's Robo toy. Then, something inexplicable happened. Rahu merged with the Robo, melded itself with the Robo.
That's weird. Why'd it do that?
I'm not sure. You act like I have literally all of the answers. Some people think there's a connection between Rahu and the custom Robo.
Hey, Sergey, you sound like you do have all the answers.
I have most of the answers, probably. It almost sounds like you do have all the answers. And like Rahu did a dive into that custom Robo and, I don't know, got stuck or something.
And that's why Rahu looks like the way it does now. That's why we can even see it in the first place.
That's correct. Now that our enemy is visible, we had a chance to fight back, and we seized it. The government remodeled the custom Robos as weapons to battle Rahu's new Robo form. Finally, after many grueling battles, we defeated Rahu.
Can you imagine how much money the toy-making company made for that? Off of that?
Yeah,
the
because
government just turning their toys into weapons.
Yeah, because they went from making toys to weapons of war.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Government money.
Actually, let me correct myself. We didn't defeat it, but we were able to trigger its dormant cycle. The dormant Rahu had no new information to assimilate, and so it didn't evolve and didn't awaken. We couldn't destroy Rahu though. Instead, we bought ourselves some time. So the rest of the story, we didn't know. But wait, don't you think that's a little funny? Rahu is capable of destroying the entire world, and we stopped it with a child's toy? I know what you're thinking. Rahu couldn't be stopped simply with the custom robos. There was something else. A device designed to stop Rahu by targeting his robo systems. A device?
Sergey, why should we trust you? You're a member of the Z Syndicate now, and a traitor. Even if you're telling the truth, why does it matter? What's your point?
You're right. It doesn't matter. That was the worst way I ever could have pronounced matter. Let me ask you, Roy. When did you first find out about Rahu's attack?
Why are you so suddenly... I first learned the truth when I became a class S commander.
How about you, Captain Mira? It was the same. I didn't know a thing until I was promoted. Don't you think that's odd? What? This is the single most significant and traumatic event in human history, and no one knows? I've been saying this for literally weeks now!
This whole game says ACAB, like the whole time.
Oh, it's classified knowledge. The government dictates who should and should not know. But how could they stop the survivors from passing on these stories to their children? Their babushkas.
The people respect the word of the government. They knew it was confidential.
Do you actually believe that the government has the power to silence such a terrible thing? Can you think of any other reason why no one would ever talk about such a horrific event? It does seem difficult to imagine. So many years have passed. Nobody knew the full scope of it. Even becoming a class stinky commander didn't explain everything. the reason... Oh, the reason this is such a welcome secret is not because the survivors chose to keep it a secret. It's because their memories were wiped clean. It is a secret because no one is allowed to remember. What? Oh, for crying out. Look, this is all starting to get real confusing here. What you're saying is that everyone, and I mean everyone, forgot about Rahu entirely? That's correct. That's impossible. What could possibly make everyone just forget about this all at once?
Big rock!
Oh, nothing could make that happen. Naturally.
A big rock?
Are you saying someone devised a way to erase every living human's memory entirely?
They hit everyone with a big rock.
They went by one, knocking everyone out with a rock. And if you woke up too fast, they'd knock you out again. The engineers of this foolish plan wanted me to... they wanted me personally.
That's messed up.
The engineers of this foolish plan wanted me to erase everyone's memories and implant false ones. Our government carried out this plan hundreds of years ago, once the dome was completed.
We did it with a rock, right?
This is quite literally, and I shit you not, the plot to Attack on Titan.
Huh.
This is the plot.
This definitely came out before Attack on Titan.
100%. I want to see their notes. I want to see their homework.
Stole the plot from Custom Robo, confirmed.
Wow, that's crazy.
What?
Other than like the bad guy being like a spirit and then taking form,
sure.
It's pretty much like the government, like mind control, like mind wiping everyone, living in a domed, walled city, completely cut off from the outside world because there's nothing there but the Titans, except plot twist there is. Just saying, I noticed these kind of patterns. The government found a way to make everyone forget about Rahu. Was that not clear? The world exists.
Just confirming, Sergey. Don't be rude.
Alright, don't bust my balls for it. The world exists entirely within this dome. Outside the dome, there is nothing. We are all raised thinking that this dome is our true home, where we will live and die.
I mean, technically it is where we'll live and die unless we become class stinky.
Well, I mean, at this point, yes. There's really not much point to living outside the dome, because you're probably going to die there too. So,
there's lots of bins.
At any rate, this is the greatest lie. The memory implant told us all that this dome contained mankind's entire world.
But why?
Rahu will awaken. It is inevitable. Could you live a normal life knowing Rahu would return?
But never knowing when, I see. It was to give us a sense of security, even if it was just a lie.
But that seems actually really stupid. How would we be able to fight Rahu off if it came to a point where none of us knew anything about what happened prior, and then he attacked?
I'm pretty sure it's because the dome kept us safe from Rahu in theory.
But how is that possible? What could possibly erase everyone's memory like that? I don't know, but they did it. They made a device that could erase everyone's memories.
It's a really big rock.
What is with you and hitting people in the head with rocks lately? It's all you've been saying.
I can't believe it. I'm sure we would have heard something like that. Captain Mira, I've already told you. There are some things that not even Class S commanders have been told.
You mean Class Stinky?
Is that what they're really calling it now?
No, it's not what they're calling it now.
It's a joke, I understand. That is funny.
How do you know we didn't make the whole story, how do we know you didn't make the whole story up?
I suppose you have no evidence, but there is one of these devices that still exists to this day.
Really? Where is it?
In your mom's pants, gotcha.
Damn it! He got me!
I got it!
You got what, the device? Harry, you have the device?
It's at the lab! The custom Robo research lab! That's why the Z Syndicate was there!
You're right! You're the man, Harry!
Don't all suck my dick at once or anything! No, it's not at the lab. Alright, you guys can all suck my dick now.
I thought so. Harry's not that smart.
Hey!
There's no way he could have figured that out before me.
That was mean. Asshole.
So, where is it?
Parker.
Yeah.
Your father's watch. That's the device.
Oh.
It can erase people's memories. You've had it all along.
Well, shit. It's a good thing I never pressed that button.
I wish I could grab my mouth the way that Harry does. Like a
Parker's
full
watch?
clenched fist
In the
around his
cheek,
bottom
yeah.
lip. Yeah.
Around the bottom lip, yeah.
That's why Z's leader said something about defeating Rahu with Parker's watch.
He did? I see. That device was used to defeat the device that was used to defeat Rahu was the one that could erase people's memories.
Duh. Hundreds of years ago, that very device helped us defeat Rahu.
Sergey, why does Parker have it? How did something like that wind up with him? What was Parker's father like?
Both of his fathers were very cool. He was a very distinguished scientist, one of the highest ranking officials in the government. Well, that is why he told the truth. We all live with false memories implanted by the government. When he learned that people had been deprived of the truth for so long, he began to have doubts. He questioned the ethics of the plan, and he knew that Rahu would rise once again. Marcia, my leader told me where your power came from. It is a result of the erasure, a side effect. Right now, every aspect of the brain's development is controlled. The side effect was unexpected. Nobody realized this dramatic change in the environment and the memory blocks and implants would generate this effect. No one could explain what exactly created Marcia's power. Marcia, your power is born from the tragedy humans suffered hundreds of years ago.
Huh?
Hey!
And I think that's a good spot to
That is
stop.
probably a good spot to
Nick,
cut
I'm
it.
sorry I told you before we started recording that there would be no more info dumps in the game. I completely
It's like
forgot.
right before we started recording.
Literally nothing but an info dump
Oh,
this
wow.
episode, but I hope you enjoyed it, and we're probably going to get a little bit more of an info dump next time. Bye!